Hello everyone, you join us in the 2026 Cadillac Lyriq V Premium. The Premium doesn't really make too much of a difference here for this charging test we're about to do, but it does get us some nice features, but definitely check that out in our full tour and review. So of course, we're going to go take this on a charging test, and let's see all of the stuff we're at right now. So as you can see, we have a few warning signs on. That'll be our turtle mode, as you can see over here, and our low battery warning. That's because we are now below 15%. We have 29 miles of range left. So yeah, we're going to have a good charge today, and it's really interesting because it is freezing out. This says 12 degrees. I can guarantee you it is colder than that in person. It's so bad outside, you literally cannot stand with the wind. But we're going to take this thing on a charging test to see how it performs. Before we go hop into our map to find a charger, let's see some of the charging information we have. So in our charging page over here, I always say that Cadillac has a fantastic charging system in their EVs. So yes, we have charge schedules. We can set our charge targets in the vehicle inside over here really easily. So we'll do like 80-85%. For example, it tells you how much range you could predictably get. It's EPA rated at 285 at 100%. So I think it could do a little bit better if you're driving more efficiently. But once you put it into the V Velocity Max mode here, it gets a little inefficient, I can tell you that. But what's really great is that this one doesn't have it, but we've had it in other test Cadillacs when it's signed into My Cadillac account. You literally can do plug and charge. You can literally just go into here, activate individual like chargers at different stalls, through the system. It's really in-depth, very fantastic, and very easy to use. So if you have a Cadillac EV, you really have to have this to really kind of take advantage of all the stuff your EV is capable of doing from Cadillac. Same thing with our charge schedules. We can do all of that great stuff in here. We have preconditioning like temperatures and stuff, which is really cool for like for your interior cabin. But of course, we also have fast charge prep preconditioning as well when we're going to a charger. Now, speaking of going to said charger, the vehicle just prompted me to actually find a charger there. But of course, I can use the built-in Google Maps system. But we also have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto on this Cadillac Lyriq for 2026. I believe it's the only Cadillac EV left with these systems here, so that's one great thing to see. But we're going to use the built-in Google mapping system here, so we can kind of go into here and find a charger. I believe we have a quick access button right here for chargers, so I press charging locations, and you have a lot of great filtering in this vehicle as well. So I can go into here and select different speeds for our chargers, so we can go super fast, slower. You can kind of see things that are talking about different payment systems if you only want to use a specific network as well. So a lot of great filters in here. So I'm going to go super fast charging on here. I believe this can use a NACS port if you have an adapter, but I don't have an adapter today, which is fine because we're just going to use the CCS port when we find a charging station near me. Thankfully, I know which one I want to go to. It is in this one right here. So number 2, Evolve New York charging stations. These are actually really, really great. And I like how it gives us an estimate of our percentage on arrival, which should be 9%. We are at 15% here. You can press start right there. It should immediately start fast charge prep. There we go. Fast charge prep is starting. So we are going to precondition. It's a pretty short drive, but I have been driving the vehicle for quite some time. So the battery should be a little bit warm. And thankfully in this vehicle, we could actually check that by going to our vehicle status here, going to performance, and give us our battery temperature. So yeah, 34 degrees is not warm, but when I started the day out, it was like 9 degrees. Okay guys, heading off in our Cadillac Lyriq V. Now, like I mentioned, we do have reduced driving performance. You can see some AR navigation stuff up there right now, but that means we don't really have our full power output in this vehicle. So I can kind of accelerate a little bit, and it kind of tapers off a little bit at the higher end of the accelerator there. That's just because we're really low in the battery pack here as of right now. Other great stuff though about this car is the regen system. So we have our really great regen paddle over here, which I just absolutely love. And I'm actually going to turn out our energy page here so we can kind of see a little bit more live stuff, what's happening with our regen. You can see our regen is really smooth and easy to control with our paddle right there, which is fantastic. But we also have one pedal driving. We can turn on and off via our infotainment system there really easily, which is great. Now I want to demonstrate the reduction in power we have right here. I'm going to go onto the highway. We're in V mode, our Velocity Max mode, which is supposed to kind of give us our full power output of like 615 horsepower. But if I step on it, nothing happens. Oh no, so we're kind of limited in our power there. Normally you'd be thrown back into your seat but nothing really happens right now because we have reduced power. And of course, on the highway, we still have our Super Cruise system on this particular vehicle, which also works so well. Cadillac Super Cruise, GM Super Cruise in general is just a fantastic system here. And this one also has Super Cruise with navigation, so if we're getting closer to our exit, it will take us closer to our lane, or our charger in this case. And I love the animations we get in our heads-up display now with this augmented reality heads-up display, both for our turn-by-turn navigation with the Google mapping system, as well with our Super Cruise system. So I'm not sure if this will show up on camera here, but we get these really great graphics here for our auto lane change functionality with Super Cruise on the highway. Now, like I mentioned, this is getting us around 285 EPA rated miles of maximum range. I will say over the course of this week, we can go over here to our left screen here, I've been getting around 1.7 miles per kilowatt hour. Now, it has been extremely cold here in New York this week. This is like probably the coldest it's been in like 10 years. So that definitely has not been helping too much with our total, you know, range efficiency. The last Cadillac Lyriq I had, I definitely had a little bit better efficiency. And since, you know, in day-to-day driving with this car, you're actually just using that typical dual motor all-wheel drive Lyriq power, I think this will actually be pretty efficient in day-to-day usages. But this does come to show that, you know, in the winter, EVs do suffer still quite a little bit with the additional cold, and if you're, you know, using the performance features of a performance EV, that's just going to further drag on your efficiency and overall total range in your vehicle. Okay, everyone, you joined us back at the same charger quite a little bit later, but we finally made it to this. We did have to come back. The line was just too incredibly long, but that does mean we now have a real charging test right now. We are now at 3% state of charge. We have a lot of battery warning lights on, so we're going to see what this vehicle can do. And if we want to update these numbers from before, we have not made it too far on this around 80% full battery from before. That's how much this cold weather we've had has really been affecting our you know, overall range in this particular EV. It's been below freezing for the past 2-3 weeks now, so that is what you can expect. Our battery is at around 57 degrees. That's better than the around 37-40 we saw before, definitely better than 9 from this morning, but that may potentially affect our charging performance. So we're gonna go plug in and see how this Cadillac juices up. Okay guys, let's hop outside. We have our true 6% or 3%, 6 miles of range left right there. Very snowy and icy charger over here. I'm gonna open up our charge port door. Hopefully this reaches. Of course, our power charge port door over here on the Lyriq. Wonder what would happen with this if the, I can see they have not fixed where to put that thing, but let's pop open our plug here. Should fit right nice and snug into our charge port over here. Okay guys, so we got that plugged in. Let's go see how much pricing is. I'm gonna go authenticate this and get ready to pay. Okay guys, we just plugged in our charge cord here. It says charge cord is connected. Let's turn on our interior light here so we have a little more illumination. So yeah, we did plug in. We are finally charging, thank gosh. And we can see our charging indicator light on the dash up here, as a lot of these General Motors Ultium vehicles do when they're charging. So charging information wise, we are slowly ramping up here. We literally just plugged in. Let's see how long it estimates in the vehicle here for our charging. So we're currently says 85%. We have it set as a target to, which will get us allegedly 245 miles. But remember, it is pretty cold out today. But we're charging currently at 81 kilowatts of speed. It's freezing, right? The battery is kind of cold, and the percentage is quite low, but you can see how quickly it is already ramping up. So this has a max of 190 kilowatts DC fast charging. I'm kind of impressed right now that it's already ramping up to those really high speeds so low in this battery pack. So this is some, you know, kind of reassurance if you guys are DC fast charging lower in the pack. You're going to see some pretty impressive speeds in your Cadillac Lyriq while charging, even in the freezing cold. It literally is freezing cold. I wish I could pull up the temperature right now, but it is quite cold right now as well. So this is kind of good to see. 16 degrees. I can guarantee you it's much colder than that in person. But that's nice to see. So we're now at 167 kilowatts. And again, 85%, it'll give us 245 miles of range. It claims 100%, it will claim around 285, which is the EPA numbers, not real world numbers. Remember that, guys. So real world numbers are right here in this level of cold. As you can see, it's around 170 miles on, you know, 80% state of charge is what we got the vehicle at. Not a full 100, but That's just how cold it's been, unfortunately. So we'll see if this ramps up anywhere closer to that, higher 190 kilowatt max number here. Again, right now we're currently sitting at 164 kilowatts at 7% state of charge, which is pretty nice to see. But again, we'll see if that updates as we are continuing to sit here and charging. And while you are sitting here charging, you can use all of the apps of this infotainment system, such as the web browser, and you can, maybe configure a different Lyriq V while you're in your electric Cadillac while charging. But it is really great that you have all of this functionality in here, so it doesn't keep you incredibly bored. We have a few apps that are currently downloaded into this vehicle, but if you go over to the Google Play Store here, there are just a truly unlimited amount of apps and games that you can download for this software, including, Prime Video streaming services as well. So there's quite a lot of stuff in here that you could actually download and use in this vehicle while charging. Heck, you can even watch YouTube in here while you are charging your Lyriq, and maybe even learn about more of an older Lyriq. Okay guys, we had a bit of an issue here. It actually stopped charging, so I had to unplug, reconnect. Now we're recharging again. So we started, we have to recharge again at 33-ish%. So it's recalculating everything all over again. Not too sure what happened. Literally just said issue with charger inside the Lyriq. It stopped charging and we just plugged it back in. And it seems to be working fine right now. So we're gonna have two different statements, I think, from this particular charger, which is interesting. Okay guys, like I just mentioned, we have to plug in the vehicle once again. For some strange reason, it just stopped charging on our Electrify America station. But we're back at 142 kilowatts here. We reset it down to around 80% state of charge. It says we're at 35% now on here, 148, pretty closer in range of kilowatts, but it says around, I believe, 30-ish minutes still to 80%, or 26 minutes until 80% now, which is nice to see. Okay guys, also interesting to note in this vehicle, we have here our current max capable charging rate. So this is around 150 kilowatts, and this is what we're live, I guess, pulling into the vehicle. The vehicle is accepting right here. You press this little info to kind of dive into that stuff. But that's pretty interesting. But again, battery temperature, the level, or the station capacity may limit this. I think in this particular case, it's probably the battery temperature. It's now at 99 degrees Fahrenheit though, so it's definitely gotten up, but we are also now at 43%, so a little bit higher in the pack. I think those higher 190 kilowatt numbers are more common a little bit earlier down in the battery pack. Okay guys, we are almost at 80% now. We are now at 71%, but we can see our kilowatts have dramatically dropped all the way down now to around 92 kilowatts of speed. Okay guys, we are about to wrap up our charging session right around 80% over here, and we're at 82 kilowatts of speed, and that should honestly end up being the end of this charging session in literally just a second. We've delivered a total of 55 kilowatt hours into this battery pack on this second charge we did. I'm gonna try to get the information from the first charge, but yeah, in total it should be almost the full battery pack's width of charging here, because it was at around 3% when we started this charge today, and we're going to 80% there. So pretty nice stuff here. Other than that one hiccup, it's been pretty smooth. Again, we have a lot of nice features while we are charging. You can kind of play around with in the vehicle, but other than that, I would like to see a little bit quicker charging speeds on the Lyriq and all Cadillac EVs going forward. A lot of the competition are really ramping up their speeds quite quickly. And we just hit 80%, guys, so I think charging should stop in just a second. There we go, charging complete. Current range, 231 miles. Charge level 80%, range gained 224 miles of range. It did take quite some time though. I won't say this was a quick charge. So let's go unplug now. And again, I'll try to overlay all the charging information we have gotten from this entire charge today. A little bit icy here at this charger too. Just remember to be careful. Let's pop this thing back into its cable here. Remember, these cables get quite stiff in the cold too, so it can be a little bit more difficult to maneuver them. I wish there was a better placement for this thing. We have a button to close this little door up here. Takes its sweet time. And let's hop inside, wrap up our information here, and we should be on our way to go. Okay guys, wrapped up with charging here. We do have a decent amount of range now, 231 miles. And yeah, this was an interesting charging session. A little bit of a hiccup here, but otherwise I'm not too bad. I wish this was a little bit more efficient and had a little bit quicker charging, but not too bad. And this is the 2026 Cadillac Lyriq V charging test.